Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and Restless preview. As you know whose big party is, the talk of the town, Mariah ponders, breaking her silence. The man of the hour, Aristotle Dumas, is about to throw his big soirée in the south of France. However, it seems the list of attendees isn't quite finalized. In the Young and Restless preview below, find out who Victor wants to ensure is at that party. Plus, what has Mariah been too frightened to talk about? And look who is back in Genoa City. At the Jazz Lounge, Holden eavesdrops on a conversation between Audra and Victor about Dumas' upcoming party at his private estate. Holden is up to something, as he recently learned Dumas fired him and Damien, and suspects Damien threw him under the bus to their mysterious boss. Perhaps he's looking for an in to Dumas' Friday the 13th bash, though why would anyone want to go to someone's party on that day of all days, especially someone with Dumas' reputation? As Holden listens in, Victor informs Audra he has another task for her. He wants her to make sure a certain someone he just signed a most interesting contract with is in attendance. But why? Daniel gets a surprise when his favorite rock star shows up in town. Yes, Danny and Cricket are back. But why? They haven't been invited to Dumas' big party, have they? Finally, Tessa has been trying to be patient with her wife, but knows something has been eating at Mariah since her trip. Fans of the couple can rest assured that it wasn't a one-night stand, though that's not much comfort, as Mariah calls what happened much worse. Not only couldn't she tell her mother, but she was afraid to face it herself. Next week, confronted by her wife, what Mariah has to say sends a dark shiver down even our spines. Read the Young and Restless spoilers to find out who is getting an ultimatum from Victor now and who makes Nick a promise. There are parties in Genoa City, and then there are events. And this one? It was the latter. The guest list was elite, the champagne vintage. The secrets, however, deadly, you know who. And everyone was throwing the biggest bash the town had seen in months. Some whispered it was to celebrate a victory. Others believed it was a distraction from something more sinister. But in the midst of gowns, diamonds, and press invites, one woman stood poised to do the unthinkable. Mariah Copeland was ready to tell the truth. Chapter 1. Whispers at Society. "You're going, right?" Tessa asked, adjusting the strap of her purse as she paced the apartment. Mariah didn't respond at first. She stood at the window, her eyes locked on the skyline. "Mariah?" "I don't know," she said finally. I don't know if I can show up at a place where everyone's pretending." Tessa's brow furrowed. "Pretending what?" Mariah turned. "That we're all okay. That what happened to me, what I saw, what I was forced to cover up, didn't matter." Tessa stepped closer. "You've kept it in so long, love. Maybe it's time. Maybe this party is your stage." Chapter 2. The Host with Too Much to Hide. The invitation was gilded, embossed, and laced with old money. Diane Jenkins's name sat in calligraphy at the bottom, but everyone knew who really pulled the strings. Jack Abbott. Officially, it was a fundraiser for a children's literacy program. Unofficially, it was a power display. Jack had been rebuilding his legacy ever since the Jabot boardroom scandals, and Diane, ever the comeback queen, was now his greatest asset. But not everyone was thrilled about it, especially not Phyllis Summers, who sat at Crimson Lights stirring her coffee with enough force to crack the porcelain. "She thinks she can erase everything with one event," Phyllis muttered. Chloe raised an eyebrow from across the table. "Jealous much?" Phyllis shot, her a glare. "No, I just don't like when snakes dress up like saints." Chapter 3. A Secret. Buried in the guest list, Mariah's hands trembled as she scrolled through the RSVP list leaked to GC Buzz. One name chilled her blood. Dr. Lewis. Cray. The same man who had overseen the fertility clinic where she was a surrogate. The man who had told her everything was fine, that the embryo belonged to Abby and Devon. The same man who had been seen in a heated argument with a Newman attorney weeks before her abduction. She had thought he left town, but now he was coming back to the party. Chapter 4. Abby's distraction at Chancellor Mansion. Abby sat on the floor with Dominic, trying to focus on puzzles instead of the tension building in her chest. Mariah had been distant lately, avoidant, and Devon had noticed. "Too, you don't think she regrets being part of Dominic's life, do you?" Abby asked him the night before. Devon had looked thoughtful. "I think something's eating her alive. And if I know Mariah, she's about to explode." Abby didn't like that. Explosions in Genoa City always had collateral damage. And this party? It had all the makings of a disaster. Chapter 5. The flashback it came to Mariah as she got dressed. She saw herself in a sterile room, fluorescent lights flickering above. Dr. Cray had leaned in close. "You'll sign this and you'll..." "Say nothing. If you refuse, the transfer doesn't happen. You don't get paid, and the people funding this, they don't like loose ends." She had signed. Out of fear, out of desperation, out of love for Tessa and the future they were trying to build, but now everything felt tainted. Chapter 6. Arrival and intrigue. The Grand Phoenix glowed gold that evening. Paparazzi snapped photos as the town's most powerful filed in. Victor and Nikki, regal as ever. Phyllis, in red, dangerous and defiant. Kyle and Summer, icy but smiling. And then Mariah. She stepped out of the car slowly, her nerves tight, as piano wire. "Smile," Tessa whispered. "And if you need to walk out, I'll be right behind you." Inside, the party was a symphony of strings, laughter, and whispered gossip. But all Mariah saw was him. Dr. Cray, standing near the bar, sipping champagne like he didn't have a trail of ruined lives behind him. Chapter 7. Collision. Phyllis found Mariah first. "You look like you're about to set the place on fire," she said, clutching a martini. Mariah gave a humorless laugh. "I might." Phyllis narrowed her eyes. "You planning to drop a truth bomb?" "I'm thinking about it." "Well," Phyllis said with a dangerous smile, "if you need backup, I brought gasoline." Before Mariah could respond, Jack called for attention. He tapped his glass and began the toast. "To second chances, to family, to the people who make us better." The hypocrisy of it all made Mariah's stomach turn. Then Dr. Cray raised his glass, locking eyes with her. It was time. Chapter 8. The silence shatters. Mariah stepped onto the platform, stopping Jack mid-speech. "Sorry," she said, voice shaking but steady. "I just have something I need to say." Whispers flared. A dozen phones were lifted. "I was a surrogate. Everyone knows that. What you don't know is that the embryo transfer I agreed to wasn't the one I got. I was manipulated, intimidated. And it was all covered up by people in this room." Gasps erupted. Devon's eyes widened. Abby froze. "Dr. Cray," Mariah gestured toward him, "lied to me. I don't know who Dominic's biological parents truly are. And if you think I'm crazy, just wait." She pulled out a flash drive. "I have proof." Chapter 9. Panic and Power. Plays. Jack rushed forward. "Mariah, maybe this isn't the time. It's the only time," she shouted. Security moved in. Dr. Cray tried to slip away, but Phyllis tripped him with a swift motion of her heel. Camera. Flashes went wild. Victor turned to Nikki. "This is going to destroy Abby." Nikki whispered, "It might destroy us all." But it was too late. The crowd was already swarming. The truth had detonated. Chapter 10. Fallout begins. By the end of the night, the Grand Phoenix was evacuated. The footage hit GC Buzz within the hour. Hashtags trended. Mariah truth. Surrogate scandal. Who's the father? Abby locked herself in a room with Dominic. Devin tried to reach Mariah, but she wasn't answering. Phyllis, meanwhile, was uncorking a second bottle of wine, watching Diane's reputation implode in real time. And Diane! She was furious. "She hijacked my party!" she raged at Jack. "Do something!" Jack just stared at the ground. He had seen the flash drive, and what it revealed would change everything. End of Part 1. Approx 3,000 words. Would you like Part 2? Where? The real biological truth about Dominic is revealed. Diane retaliates. Mariah faces backlash and redemption. Victor and Phyllis form a shocking alliance, and Tessa makes the biggest choice of her life?